This episode is brought to you by High Point Market. Welcome to the Design Dash podcast, your guide to designing a life you love. Join us as we explore the keys to living the life you want without compromise.
Welcome back to the Design Dash podcast. I'm Laura Umansky, here with my co-host, Melissa Grove.
Hello.
And today's episode is a little different. If you've been listening for a while, you've heard us speak with firm owners who have already built teams and structure. Often they reflect on how they grew their businesses over time. But some of the most important growth decisions don't happen after you've scaled. They're happening in those in-between moments and those small decisions when you're building with intention. So today we're pulling back the curtain and doing something we've never done on the podcast before. Our guest is Sandy Hartley, a Houston-based interior designer and longtime member of the Design Dash community. Her design firm is Alexandra Hartley Interiors, and she's originally from England, so she is bringing a background that's spanning high-end retail at John Lewis and corporate roles at Mars, Inc. Now, Sandy's a solo practitioner. She's talented, thoughtful, and deeply client-focused, and she's standing right at that familiar crossroads that so many designers hit. So do I hire? Do I stay solo? Where should I actually be investing my time and money? And how do I grow without blowing up the parts of this business I actually enjoy? So instead of a traditional interview, we're going to treat today's episode like a real-time coaching session-ish. So this is the kind of conversation we normally have inside of our community. So we have the discussion thread, we have live coffee chats and live co-working sessions. So this is going to be similar. It's honest and it's practical and it's happening in real time. So without the polish of that hindsight of a designer who may have figured it all out, at least kinda. So if you're a solo designer who's ever thought, I know I can't stay here forever, but I'm not sure what's next, this episode is for you. So Sandy, thank you for joining us and for being willing to have this conversation here on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So let's jump in. If there is one thing that you can take away from our conversation today that would help really move you forward,
Yeah.
what would that be? What are you really looking for?
I would love to walk away with more clarity in the steps that I need to take to make sure that I'm investing my time, my energy, and my money in the things that will truly grow my business rather than me just being busy.
Okay.
There's a really big difference between the two, and I can be very busy, but not moving my business forward. So I'd love more clarity around some actionable steps that I can take, like right now, to make a difference.
It's a trick, right? Like
Yeah.
people say, like, how are you? How are things? How's your business? Busy. Oh, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
Ugh. I know.
Yeah.
It's like a default thing to say. And you're just like, but is it the right busy?
Yeah.
So we'll dig into that some. But I guess to get us started, where does your business feel the most strained today? Where are you feeling oh, this is really
Okay.
holding me hostage?
So there's a couple of things. I think it got to a point where, so I have an hourly rate and I broke down what I was actually paying myself.
Oh, God.
And I realized that something had to change because my hourly rate was not what I was, it was nowhere near what I was getting paid. So, that was one piece of it. The second piece of it is when I realized that I am the bottleneck, like my calendar can be full, but it's me that is holding everything back. So something has to move off of my plate. Because nothing is moving, it's always me. It's, I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you on that. I can't take on that project because I have to get this one finished. So I think it was realizing that I'm working a lot of hours, but being a bottleneck, the calendar is full, but where am I going? Am I moving forward or am I just doing the same thing again?
How are you tracking your time? Are you writing down every single thing you do? So you went through that exercise?
Yes, I did. And so
It's shocking, isn't it?
yes, it is. Yeah. So when I started my business, I did hourly because I obviously had no idea how long a project was going to take. So I started hourly and I didn't like it because I didn't track my
Mm,
time. So then I moved to fixed price and I like that. But then I realized that I was massively underselling myself and I had no regular cash flow. So
right.
I ended up being owed a lot of money and waiting for that next phase of the business to complete before. So the cash flow was dreadful. So
Mm.
I've moved back to hourly, mostly under your recommendation, which has been fantastic for my business. My cash flow is now regular. I have a regular income, which is wonderful. I am not great at tracking it, but
Mm.
I I do I am tracking it in the project management software that I'm using. So if I don't track it live, I look at my calendar, I'm like, okay, well, this is what I did on this day. So I have made a step change in tracking my hours,
Okay,
which is
great.
which is good.
Yeah, that's hurdle number 1.
Yes. Yeah,
So where have you found that most of your time actually goes? As a solo practitioner, you're doing everything
I am doing
and you're
everything.
tracking your time. Where is it actually going? Like
Um,
biggest percentage?
yeah, probably um a huge part of it on client communication.
Okay.
So, whether that's follow up from client meetings, whether that's uh, something going on site that we need to meet about, a conversation that's happened with a contractor that I then need to convey to the client. So, client communication is one. General admin is huge. So, placing an order, tracking the order, has the order come in, scheduling delivery, all of those sort of things. So, a huge portion in the admin piece.
Hmm.
And then, ironically, I feel like most of it is back of house. It's all the things that need to happen to support my business rather than the design portion of it.
Right.
And
Well,
I don't know. I was not intentional in opening a design business. I'll be completely honest about that. It happened rather than me being intentional about it. I wish it was intentional, but it wasn't. But I had no idea about the amount of time that I wouldn't be designing.
hmm
That's just a small portion of my day. And all the rest of it is everything that needs to happen in the business to make sure the business is functioning, whether that's writing out an invoice, making sure that invoice gets sent, sending a reminder
yeah.
about the invoice, making sure the invoice gets paid.
I think this is
um,
so common for interior designers, and I experienced the same thing when I started.
yeah.
Like Melissa, where you think where's your brain going with this?
Well, I think what's interesting to me, is that invoicing in an interior design business is not easy. I mean,
Oh,
it's fairly complicated. Sales tax is fairly complicated, especially if you're working in different states. I mean, this is why we have a
mhm.
full-time accounting person handling all of it. And I truly think that, I mean, unless you love accounting, which it doesn't seem like you do, but you're also not running an accounting firm. So I think
Yeah.
as a designer, if you're spending such a significant amount of your time not designing, I mean,
Mhm.
that's your drain right there. But at the same time, you have to get paid.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm a big believer in, that if you're a solopreneur, that second hire being somebody who handles that admin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know this already. We've had this conversation before.
Oh, I know. And it's about actually doing it and okay, I have a set amount of money that I can invest every month in my business. Where should that be? What,
Sure.
where do I spend that money? So, if I say I had $1,000 every month to spend supporting my business, what should I put that into?
Yeah.
And
And
it's
so we talk about hiring a lot.
Mhm.
And a solopreneur, like you said, is the biggest bottleneck in your business. You're doing everything
Mhm.
yourself. And so when you're doing all this admin work, it's slowing you down from the business development, which is bringing in more revenue,
Yep.
from the design, which is delivering on your current projects.
Yep.
And so that
That
really
really
is
is
just
just
like creating this big roadblock to doing what you love and the whole reason you started this in the first place, but also to growth.
Yeah.
So hiring for us, and we talk about this all the time, on the podcast and in the community, we feel like it's the way to get your freedom back, your time, doing what you love the most, and to profit. And I
Yeah.
know it's scary. So, but when you think about hiring, what scares you the most? What fear is coming up around that?
Yeah. I think, so I have worked by myself for the last few years. Like everything is, well, most of it is in here. Some of it is in systems and process. And I've realized that I have to get better at documenting my process and having a clearer system in place. The other thing is just being able to let go.
Mm,
Just this, not a fear of letting go, but I have been used to I'm the one that does everything. Um, and I know that if I have to train somebody, there is a learning curve. And I
Sure.
quite often feel like it's like, oh my goodness, I'll just do it because it'll be quicker if I get it done. But I know that's not the long-term answer. And if I don't change things, it will always be the same. And I'll be in the same position in a year's time. And I don't want to be there. So I have to learn to be able to let go of some things. And I guess I have a fear that my systems are not where they need to be to effectively bring somebody on.
yes.
We've heard that a lot, and, I think we talked about that last week as well, but I think, honestly, that puts you in the perfect place to bring somebody else on.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to something like accounting or admin, you might have your way of doing it. They might have a better way
Oh, I
of
know.
doing it, and then you
Yes.
don't have to do it at all. So
Hopefully
I
they
think
have a better way.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that's very appealing, and I think too, especially when it comes to operations roles. I mean, I know just myself being an operations person and my team in operations, we love that sort of thing. Going in, finding something that is in shambles, and being able to have the control to fix it and improve it. Like that's what makes us really, really happy. So I think that's why I'm such an advocate for hiring for those admin roles first, is because that person can take all of these things off your plate that I really don't think you should be doing anyway. Especially as
Yeah.
a solicitor, I think your main focus should be on design. And you've talked about another bottleneck with marketing. Like,
Mhm.
how much of that you should be doing. I think that somebody else should
I
be doing.
know. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, there is no the
Yeah.
marketing department is like non-existent. And
I think it's interesting, Melissa, that you say like we as operations people love coming in and finding something in shambles and like
Yeah.
fixing it. Because as designers, we are such perfectionists that we are
Mhm.
almost embarrassed
Yeah.
to say like we don't have this in place. I'm going to hire someone, they're going to come in and see that I'm a fraud. Like I have no clue what I'm doing. But actually that person wants to come in and find just that so that they can fix it and put structure around it because that's their passion. Where our
Yeah.
passion is design, their passion is coming in and seeing the shit show that is our business behind the scenes and fixing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it all together, you don't need somebody like me, and then I'm
Right.
bored, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of want it to be really, really messy.
I need to shift my mindset a bit and be willing to like open up to like I guess be a bit more vulnerable and say, okay,
Um,
if you see this, like improve the process. Like if
Yeah.
what would you do? How can I improve it? Yeah. So I need to let
When you
go.
said that everything's in your head,
Uh-huh.
and it could be that even that first week of hiring someone, let's say we hire this admin or
Uh-huh.
operations, bookkeeper, whoever it is. That first week is really, and I know you can't set down every part of your business, but much of it is just the two of you sitting down and basically like, I'm going to clear my mind. It
Yeah.
is a brain dump. I'm giving you everything that I've been doing. Take it. It is going to look like a hurricane, but
Hmm.
please take that and then let's put processes around it together. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be even like a weight off.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
something that I really like to do with new people, again, we're all operations, so I'm sure it's probably very different on the design side, is after those first 3 to 6 months, I want you to tell me how you would do it. Now that you've been actually
Mm,
doing that job, because I'm going to do it the way that I think is easy for me. You're going to
yep.
do it the way that you think is easy for you. And if you're the person who's going to be handling it the majority of the time, forever until you're with me, I want to make sure that it's a process that you're very comfortable with and one that you've created. And I think that you'll be really surprised with people, like they get this kind of ownership and they think, oh, wow, you trust me enough to have this kind of
Mhm.
impact on your business. And I think that's a great way to build an even stronger foundation as a team.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
So, if you hired someone tomorrow
Yeah.
in a dream world and they could immediately take something off your plate,
Yeah.
what would that like handful, one thing or even handful of things be? What are they taking off your plate that would give you the most relief?
I think like one would be the invoicing.
Okay.
Two would be the behind the scenes, just general admin. So placing orders, ordering samples, checking on orders, making sure that lead times are as we think they are. So it'd
Yeah.
be like just that general behind the scenes, that everything that needs to happen to make the
Hmm.
business operate. I think those are the things that I like the least, that would be the most helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helpful to you and helpful to your clients too,
Yes. Yeah.
because it's actually pushing their projects forward when those, like if purchasing is getting tracked
Yes.
in the background,
Yeah.
that person's expediting, making sure the order got placed, that there aren't any outstanding questions, because there always are.
Yes.
When is it going to be here? All those things. And you can bill for that time.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
person can track their time and you can bill for it because that is something that is going directly towards a project.
Yeah.
Like organizing a
Yeah.
sample library is general. You're
Mhm.
probably not billing a client for that.
Yeah.
In most cases, we don't.
Yeah.
But purchasing and tracking for your project, that person can bill for their time so they could cover their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the cost of hiring someone, is that holding you back?
I think so. There's a few things. I think one is where I put my money.
Mm.
So, and then I think the second piece of it is pipeline of work. So
Mm.
it's, if I hire somebody, can I then support them? So that's I find that, like, generally I've had really good workload to the extent that I'm like, okay, I can start your project, but not for a few months.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I then get to the stage where I'm good. I know I'm good for a quarter. And then I'm like, I don't see the next project ahead. And it has always happened that another project has come up. It's never been like, I always think, if I have a gap in my work, that's fine. I can work on my social media. But that hasn't actually happened. there's, al-
Okay.
there's always, so I think there's a fear of two things. One is where do I put my money? Like, where makes most sense for my money? Because I know that I need to invest in I'd love to do the social media myself, but I never get a chance to do it. So
Yeah.
I know that I need to invest in social media so that I'm actually, I think, building my portfolio, moving
Yeah.
the business forward, um, working on the business development, that marketing side. So that feels to me like I need to spend a pot of money there.
Mm.
And then I also need to, so it's okay, is it
Yeah.
best if I spend my
Is it
money on it?
admin and back of
Yes.
house, or is it the
Yes.
marketing and the
Yep.
front end biz dev?
Yep.
'Cause those
Yep.
are 2 very different areas.
So,
That's a tricky one, and I think that you
Yep.
can really go about it in a couple of different ways. I'm a big endorser of getting somebody else to help out with your marketing. But I think that you'd mentioned before that you get a lot of your clients from referral and word of mouth. And I
mhm,
think at the end of the day, you still like the business development side of it and meeting with your clients and closing those clients. And it sounds like that's something that you're good at. But you're bottlenecked by both the social media and the marketing and the accounting. So I think that there's one instance where you get the bookkeeper
Hmm.
first. That's where you place your money, because then all of those you can offload
Yeah.
all of that invoicing, all of the following up, all of that, and then devote more of your time to business development, which, the word of mouth and getting out there and getting referrals has worked for you.
Yep.
So then you can make sure that you're filling that pipeline, generating more revenue, and then the time comes to hire that social media person, which you can be very flexible on your marketing. I think that you can get somebody in here for just a couple of hours a week, and it would catapult your business, because you're basically at zero right now, and stuff with nothing. So I think that you
Anything
can.
will help. Yeah.
Right. Anything will help. I mean, on the opposite end of that spectrum, you could think, okay, well, I'm okay with the pain of handling the invoicing for now, as long as somebody else then is bringing in the business, and then you can focus on the marketing. My only concern with that is that it's not immediate. Whereas your ability to generate business could
Mm.
actually be faster
Yeah.
than updating your website and working on your social media. Those are often long games. You're going to get fantastic clients once you have that plan in place. But I
Yeah.
think if your timeline is very short, it might be better to rely on your own business development skills first.
Yeah.
How
And
do
it
you
sounds
how do
like
you
this.
feel
Oh,
about the business development side and getting business? You feel very confident in
I,
that, or is
I,
that something that you want to?
yeah, no, I do. I feel like one of my strengths is client relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, I love meeting people. I love I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. And I always think you never know where a conversation is going to lead. I always go into a conversation with I don't know, like I'm like just
expectation.
yeah, no
Yeah.
expectations, just genuinely interested in what people are doing. And I'm also open to, like, within reason, anything in terms of a project. As long as it's the size I'm after, um, I will, if it's an interesting project that's going to grow me as a person
Mhm.
in terms of my design skills, my, if it works for me, I will take it on. So I think if I had time to do more of the business development, I'm quite happy with that piece.
Mm.
It was
Good.
interesting because I had a client, or had a potential client, and they looked at my website, and she's like, "I like what I see, but there's not a lot on there." And then I said to her, "I can show you some behind the scenes. I have like 30,000 photos on my phone of all the behind." And then I showed her some behind the scenes stuff, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, that's great. You're hired." And
That's
it made me
interesting.
realize that I just need to, like, not put myself out there a bit more, but put myself out there a bit more.
Yes. Yep.
I
Yeah.
do. So I thought my website looked fine. She's like, "Can I see some more?" And I'm like, "Sure you can." I'm like, "It's not polished, but this is what I'm doing every single day." I'm like down on my, like, not hands and knees, but I'm measuring, like, I'm measuring, like, we're checking
Yeah.
that the carpentry work. I will get stuck into everything, and I love that.
If you're a designer, then you know that High Point is the epicenter for all things interior design. All your favorite furniture vendors are there, your favorite designers, manufacturers, tastemakers, trendsetters. Market happens every April and October, and we hope you'll register and attend. We're there each market, and we're always finding something new. We know you will too. Check out highpointmarket.org for more information.
No,
I would say no matter what stage you're in, no matter what your website looks like, a potential client that is really interested is going to ask to see more. Almost
yes.
every time. We get asked
Okay.
that all the time. Can I see more?
Mm,
Can I see more? Like, are you
yes.
kidding? We've got like 20 years of stuff on our website, but sure,
Yeah.
yes, I'll show you more. And we always have other things to show. So I wouldn't feel bad about that. I don't
Mm,
think it means that your website is insufficient. I think it just means uh, they're asking buying questions, which is good. They want to see
yes.
more. So that's great.
Yeah.
Um, and I think another good thing, just based on what you're saying, is that you're really hiring to grow right now, and you're doing it intentionally
Hmm.
in a very planned way, instead of hiring to survive. And so
Yes.
you're in a really good spot, because there are so many people, myself included, that have just hired to survive. And that is like, we're so busy. I'm dropping stuff on projects. Things are falling through the cracks. I'm making mistakes. I'm just going to throw a body at it. I'm going to
Mhm.
hire and hope it works. You're not doing that. And so you're
No.
in a really good spot. So, I mean, pat yourself on the back,
Well,
like give
I love
yourself
the
some
way
credit. Like you're doing this the right way.
yeah, I mean, I love the way you
Um,
framed that, makes me feel better. Um, it doesn't feel like that
yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, I have done both. I've hired intentionally and I've hired because I'm in a really bad spot. And I will say where you are right now is so much better. But I do want you to
Yeah.
think about really think about it.
Really?
What happens if I don't hire in the next year? What happens? Like, what does that look like for you?
My business it's not gonna grow because I can't like, there are 24 hours in the day. Um, I'm aware my kids are not gonna be at home for much longer. So
Oh
I
God,
need
I know that
to
kills me.
yes, no, I know. Like one of my sons has a year and a half left at home before he's gone. And like, where did those last 10 years go? So I'm
Right.
aware that like I came to design like late in my life. I wish, nobody can turn back the clock, but what I need to do now is make sure that I am like really thoughtful with every hour that I spend in my business. So if
Mhm.
I don't do anything now, I'm going to be in exactly the same place at the end of the next year. So we look at like my revenue, my profit, it will not have changed. And I'll look at the number of hours that I've put into the business. And, yes, I get a lot of fulfillment from what I do. Like, I get a lot of fulfillment from seeing people in their homes and being like so grateful for the spaces. Just, the lovely text message to say, I would never have got here without you. It's just like, I'm okay, it's all
Yes.
worth it, you know. But like, really, if I don't do anything, I'm going to be in exactly the same place that I am now, if not have
Yeah.
moved backwards.
Mm.
Um, so that I know that I'm at the right time now, I think, to make the next steps,
Good.
to,
Yeah.
to
I guess
make a
my question
change.
for you would be then what is growth for you? Like what would you look like at the end of the year and you would say, "Wow, I this is growth. This is successful for me."
Yeah, I would love to have. I always see myself as like as a small firm, like a small group of people in my team that can support my business and share my vision, like very client oriented, very hands on. Um, so I don't know, like maybe if I had another two people in my business, I think that would be awesome. I think I think I need or potentially some outsourcing as well.
Mm.
I don't think those will be full-time hires, but certainly somebody, some support part-time would be like anything at this stage is good. So like in a year's time, somebody to help me.
Project wise, like what kind of project growth? Are you thinking about like a number? I need
Yeah,
two
so
more.
I think where I'd love to move to. So I tend to have like one big project on the go at any one time, and I do love remodel projects.
Mm.
I love that.
Me too.
Yeah. So
My
I
favorite.
tend to have one like bigger project going on and then smaller projects that run alongside it, whether that's a furnishings project. Yeah, tend to be like maybe a couple of furnishings projects at the same time. That's been like my typical cadence is one big project and a couple of furnishings projects at the same time.
Mm.
I would
Mhm.
love to move towards more of the bigger projects because I just find they're more efficient. You're dealing with one set of clients rather than
Mhm.
trying to manage, I don't know, six smaller projects where you've got one or two rooms at a time. So
Yeah.
I'd love to move towards like larger projects. Um, if
Okay.
I can, yeah, I'd love to stick with remodels and furnishings, preferably.
Yeah.
If I could take on two bigger projects at a time, then that would be great. But at the moment, I can't do that.
Right. Okay. So bigger projects,
Yeah,
renovation,
yeah,
remodel.
yeah,
Yep. Okay. I mean, that's a biz dev, getting out, meeting people,
yeah,
talking to your network.
yeah.
And then focusing on the work. And those are the
Yeah.
biggest things that you do as a business owner that can really push your business forward.
Yeah.
And so if we are hiring one or two people, and it could be,
Yeah.
like you said, something's outsourced, um, they could be billable people, and they should be, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Mhm.
Even if it's administration and they're
Yep.
purchasing, that person's billable. And then if it's a design assistant that you may end up needing at some
Yep.
point this year, that person is billable. And then potentially the outsourced social media portion. Like you
Yep.
said, I have 30,000 photos, probably videos in there.
Yep.
That could really, I mean, that's huge to have a bank of assets that you can hand to somebody to run with.
Mhm.
That's an amazing start. So if we're putting all those pieces together, it sounds like, and you keep saying, like, I want to put my money, I want to invest where it makes the
Yep.
most sense.
Yep.
Um, to me, it's that admin person first because that will free up your mind. That's no
Yep.
longer sitting in your brain when you're going to sleep at night. It's not there when you're waking up. I mean, you're still managing someone,
Mhm.
but you're not doing those little things. You're not doing the invoicing. My God. Ugh, I
Yep.
can't. I can't. No more invoicing for you. Um, so those are things I would consider is that if you're hiring someone tomorrow, next week, this quarter, it's someone that would take those things off your plate, that
Yeah.
invoicing, that admin, the
Yep.
purchasing, and it's someone that's probably at least 50% billable.
Yeah. Yep. When you've hired somebody for that sort of position, how long have you found it takes before they're up to speed and that you can like step back a little bit from those
Great
things?
question.
Yeah, let's define up to speed because there's they can do the job, within 3 to 6 months. But I mean, so our so we do have a full-time accounting person, and we have a full-time purchasing agent who handles all orders, the troubleshooting of those orders, receiving and all of that good stuff. Um the great thing about an accounting person is they already know what to do. So all they need to do is familiarize
Yeah.
themselves with the software and they're pretty much up and running within 30 days. I think that's what's really great about accounting is that they're a specialized skill set. So they understand that. Procurement on the other hand, gosh, that's a whole other
Yes.
beast. I feel like we've had Raquel and she's incredible for years now and there are new situations that crop up all the time because a
Yeah.
client wants to do something different we're constantly troubleshooting that. I mean, I think it probably took a year to finally get her to a place where she was really comfortable with, okay, I can
Yeah.
create new processes around purchasing now, which that to me is up to speed to a point where they know enough about the process that they can break it
Yeah.
and rebuild it.
Mhm.
But I think that
In this industry, it takes that long to get through a project start to finish. And
Yeah.
a lot of times that role, that purchasing role, has to see a project start and wrap up, and then all the troubleshooting after the first install,
Yeah.
um, to really
Yeah.
understand
yeah,
what we do, understand how to even address some of those things that come up. So yeah, 12 months probably, right?
yeah.
But yeah,
And I
like an
know that
accounting person, a bookkeeper, that should be relatively quick, although interior design is a special industry, and the way
Yeah.
that we do things between services and purchasing is more complicated often than some bookkeepers have run into. So it could
Yeah.
take some ramp up in just explaining. But yeah,
Mhm.
like for most roles, I would say 90 days is just them even understanding what we do
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
6 months, they're getting it, and you're able to step back maybe halfway.
Mhm.
And then a year is probably like you're 90%. They're 90% operational and you're stepping in some 10%.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
And I think what's great about
Generally.
both of those things too is that now
It's a
there's a
long road.
lot of there are so many different options, especially if you're open to outsourcing or open to freelancing and contracting. There are people who specialize in the exact accounting software you use, in the
Yeah.
specific purchasing software you use, and so that ramp up time is much, much shorter.
Yeah. I think honestly that feels like a really good route to go for me because then I don't need to worry about the can I support them for this number of hours every single week
Right.
if I'm just contracting them for that behind the scenes piece.
The hourly is often more expensive when you do it that way, but
Yeah.
they don't need as many hours.
Yeah.
So it balances.
Mm-hmm.
And the first person you hire, like we've talked about, may not be the exact right fit
Mm-hmm.
for you or for them. And that's
Yeah.
okay. So I
Yep.
think just going in like it's not personal,
Yeah.
we're gonna kiss a few frogs to see what works.
Yeah.
And we've worked, I think, with some people like consultants that, for example, we use Studio Designer, I think is what it's called. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've been using it for so long, I don't, it changed. And we've worked with a consultant through Studio Designer. So
Mm-hmm.
it's possible to do.
Yeah.
I love having someone full time focused on my business.
Yeah.
I will just say that right now. I think there is nothing that can replace that. Having someone that is completely immersed in the way that I like to run my processes, my clients. They know my clients.
Yeah.
Um, they know the project inside and out. Like there is nothing, a part-time person and someone that is contract most likely will not replace someone that would be full-time dedicated.
Yeah.
And so that's a mindset I've always had.
Yeah. And I would love to be in that position. I just don't think I am there yet. But um
Yeah. I mean, and you could do contract to hire or part-time to full-time. You
yeah,
could, but that's a special person that would be in the situation where they could accept something like that. But we've done that before too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially on the operation side. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense, especially if you wanna make really if you wanna be really flexible and, maybe the upcoming pipeline is somewhat unpredictable. I mean, that's okay. There are people who really thrive working part-time or in contract.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I think I'm not in a position to have somebody full time yet.
Yeah.
I would love to be there. But I think that interim is somebody to move my business to the next level in terms of outsourcing the pieces that are just not helping me get to the next step so that I'm then in a position to hire at the right time
So
full
then
time.
what decision
Yeah.
have you been avoiding that you already know the answer to?
Oh,
Do you need to make a decision?
uh, I mean, I think I need to, like, honestly, I think I need to get my processes better. And then yeah, I know. Or maybe I don't. Maybe
I
I
hope you
just need,
do.
maybe I just need to do it. And I just need to reach out and make sure I hire somebody.
You went back to processes. I need to get my processes better.
Yes.
What does that look like for you? What does a better process look like for you?
Okay. So I feel like I am pretty good on like the design side
Yep.
of the process.
Yep.
I've been toying between two different like project management softwares to help me with
Okay.
the project management side. And I think I've landed on one that I like.
Okay.
It just feels like fairly intuitive to me. So I feel like I'm just getting myself up to speed on that. I'm running like two projects in two different pieces of software. to
Yeah,
co-
and that happens when you're switching.
yeah,
It's
I'm like
painful, but it's necessary.
yeah, there's one that I'm like I just
Yeah.
don't love it. Like what else is out there? And I don't know, there is so much out there. There are so many tools to help designers and it's about okay, finding the one that works for you.
Okay.
So I feel
So you
like
need a commitment to your software.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
um and then I feel that once I am comfortable with that, then I feel more comfortable handing that to somebody else to manage. So the
Okay.
design process I feel comfortable with. It's more that okay, once we've made that
Project management.
yes, I think it's the processes after after that initial design phase that I want
And
to
so tell me what's holding you back from making a decision to commit to one software versus another.
I think I'm just about there now actually. I just
Okay.
wanted to get a bit further in like the down the line in terms of the project. But I
Okay.
think I'm there. So I
Okay.
think that decision has been made. I can cut off my subscription to the other one.
Okay,
Um,
great.
yeah.
Okay, so you're committing to a software, you're
Yes.
understanding how it works. Someone else could then step in and say, "Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're doing here. I'm in it."
Yep.
Okay. I mean, so it sounds like your timing, what does timing look like? So you talked about the end of this year.
Yep.
If I don't hire this year, I'm going to look the same as I do every other year.
Yep.
So then what does timing look like around this commitment to the software
Yep.
and then hiring someone to support you in those
Yep.
things that you said were your bottlenecks?
Yeah. I haven't thought about this, but I think I need to break my year down into quarters.
Yep.
And I think like sooner rather than later, because before
So a
we know it,
Q1 or a Q2 hire.
I think it's got to be like an end of Q1 hire
Okay.
for the behind the scenes, like that's like software process,
Mhm.
general admin piece. I feel I really need to have in place by the end of Q1.
Okay. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
So does that sound scary or does that sound like, "Oh my god, what a relief?" Or both?
Um, a bit of both. A bit of both. I don't know. I'm not a risk taker. I don't know, like thoughtful, maybe an overthinker sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I tend to think about all the things that could go wrong rather than the things that could go right. So,
So if this all goes right at the end of
yep,
this year, you've hired this person at the end of Q1, what does your life look like
I
at the
have,
end of the year?
yeah, I mean, probably more fulfillment in my work because I'm doing more of the design piece rather than more behind the scenes. More time in the evening with my family because, like, quite often
Evenings are for invoicing right now.
they are, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And chasing orders and yeah, following up on emails. So yeah, I think more fulfillment in my work life because I'll be doing more of the pieces that I really, really love and getting some great projects. And then more time with my family because yeah,
You're not invoicing.
Limited.
I'm not yeah, I'm not invoicing in the evening. Yeah.
I mean, I think to me that sounds great. And the next move would be, okay, when am I like, let's actually build this.
Yeah.
When am I doing this? Here are the dates. If I hire when I hire someone, this is what it looks like. And we do all of that in the community, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
conversation doesn't stop here. We're going to
Yes.
keep going. So we're
Yeah.
there to support you in this journey. So you're not alone. We'll still be here. Um, but I would say like for you, what is the very next move that you're committing to after this conversation? We're going to make you commit and we're going to follow.
Okay. Yeah. You got to hold me to it. Okay.
Yes.
um,
Of course,
I
you can always pivot, but
yeah. No, I need to be held accountable. Um, I am going to look into my best options for hire for like behind the scenes support.
okay, what does that mean? What does
So
looking into mean?
yeah. So I know that. So I currently work out of my home. I
Uh-huh.
can't have anybody working in my home with me. But I think in the interim, I'm going to revert back to like an online support for
Okay.
admin.
Okay. Great. I'm writing this down, so I'm gonna
Thank you.
remind you. Melissa, what do you think?
I mean, I think that's great. I'm a big advocate for finding that kind of help. I mean, my only advice to you would be like, I think you have to give up the ghost on getting your processes in order because everything that you had mentioned before, if there wasn't anything about like what you get in return, you never mentioned, oh, I get better processes. You said, I get my time back. And even then you
Hmm.
were talking about dividing your year into quarters. Like you're looking to find more time in the very
Yes.
limited time that we're
Yep.
given. So I would make your priority to get that time back. And you're already saying to make that higher. I mean, making that higher by the end of Q1, that's pretty feasible. That's in
Yeah.
2.5
Yeah.
months. I mean, you could even make that higher and start getting them onboarded and trained. And then I think, letting them figure out those processes, and then they can teach you, and then you're learning together, and you can
Mhm.
just relinquish all of that responsibility so you can
Mhm.
focus on design, yes, but like you'd mentioned spending time with your family and how important that is. And I mean, like that's stuff that you can't hire out and
Yeah.
delegate out or get back. Like once that time's gone, it's gone forever.
Mhm.
So I think that, making that a priority. And I'm also very risk averse. I am always constantly thinking about, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? It's so much easier for me to be on this side and tell you to take the risk, when I myself would be, twiddling my thumbs like, oh, I could never do that. But I think that, just know that we're always here to force you to make that hard
Yeah.
decision.
That's
Because I
why I'm
think,
here, because I'm like, what's the
Yes.
best thing that can happen?
Yeah.
It's gonna work out.
Yeah.
I'm a psycho optimist. Which is why Melissa and I work really well together, because she's like, bring it
Yeah.
back to earth, sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
This has been really, really good. And I want to know, what do you want other solo designers listening to this to hear from you right now?
I think that we're all on a journey and like growth is never linear. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think at the start I was like, my hustle and my designability got me through, but it only gets you so far. And then you got to stop and take a look and, look at the stage that you're in and realize that that's not, if you're always going to come across hurdles. Those are not bad things. It's just all part of that growth. And I just feel that there are so many of us in the same position.
Mm-hmm.
And actually being part of the community has been so helpful for me, just to see other people go through exactly the same things that I'm going through.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm so happy that you're sharing this with everyone that's listening, because there are definitely other people that are right at the same point. And
mhm,
if they're past this point, they've definitely been there.
yeah.
So I think that everyone is going to relate to this. And we really appreciate you being open to sharing today,
Well, thank
Sandy.
you.
And if people want to find you, which I'm sure they do, it's Alexandra Hartley Interiors. Is that the same on socials?
So it's Alexandra Hartley Interiors on Instagram, and then my website is alexandrahartley.com.
Okay, thank you. And I hope everyone will follow Sandy, because she is amazing.
Thank you.
And we are all here to support each other. So thanks for
Yeah.
joining us, Sandy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Super helpful.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out our next podcast, coming live next week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. In the meantime, you can find us and more wonderful stories like these on designdash.com. And make sure to follow us at Design Dasher on Instagram and TikTok. Till next time.